Oops, I forgot to take that red flags off. What's up, people? Sorry, I needed a few extra minutes because I was waiting for my order to come from Instacart, and I didn't want to start the show, and then 3 minutes later, you have to, put up the intermission sign and run downstairs and get it. So that's why I did that, but he came right on time, and so I'm only, how many minutes late? Oh, well, less than 10. Okay, not bad. So today I'm actually gonna do 2 shows in a row. I'm gonna do one today, do one tomorrow. So you guys get two, plus we get to do another one on Sunday. So you're gonna see me 3 times in a row. Today we have 24 questions. I don't know if we'll have this many tomorrow, but we'll have 24 questions. And for those of you who are unsure of how this works, these people all sent their questions in advance, and they go into, they get selected from all the different emails and go into this column. And then my cousin emails it to me. I print it out and then I read them. So all the responses are off the cuff, just based on the information that's in this letter. I don't know these people. I've never talked to these people, never seen these people. I don't know anything more about what their story is than what you and I both hear at the same time when I read the letter aloud. So let me get over here to where the comment section. All right, what's up? I see all the usual suspects here. It's good to see you guys. Well, let's get started since we got 24 questions and I never know how long they're going to be. Oh, and in case you're wondering, my t-shirt says, I'm not rude. I just have the courage to, well, actually says the walls, to say what everyone else thinks. That's what that is. And you know that's me to a T. See, my brothers always send me these weird shirts. Okay, so let's move on to question number 1. This is a young man. This is the 18 to 21 age group. He's of mixed racial heritage from San Jose, California. Summary issue. My girlfriend is scarily dependent. I'm writing to you at the suggestion of my older sister, who said she's been listening to your advice for more than 10 years and that you will help me figure out what to do. I've been together with my girlfriend for 2 months. We are both 19. It's great between us and I love her. The problem is she's extremely invested in this relationship to the point she keeps telling me it's the only thing important in her life and she's already planning for us to move together. She messages all the time and is extremely jealous. Uh-oh. But for some reason, the more she's talking about commitment, the more I'm thinking of leaving her. It scares me, and I hate the idea of planning so far ahead, even though I know I love to spend my days with her. She's pretty unstable mentally, and I know breaking things with her would probably break her too, like she said. I don't know what to do. I feel like a total bastard. Please help, and thank you for taking my letter. I'm gonna tell you something you need to know right now. When I was in high, I'll just give you the side story example. When I was in high school, I met a couple like this, we were like 16, 17, young. And this girl used to always threaten that she was going to, K herself if this guy ever left her. And she was real clingy, real possessive, real jealous. Always, I mean, it's like he could barely talk to anybody else. She would just flip out. So him being afraid that she might make good on her promises, they graduated from high school, went through college a couple of years, and then they got married, had a couple of kids. And I ran into him one day in downtown San Francisco. I have never seen a more miserable looking man. He used to look so Like, I mean, I guess in high school, all of us looked young and perky and cheery and stuff. We didn't have anything to worry about. But he just looked beat down considering, we were all the same age. He looked like he had aged like 10 years beyond everyone else. And I, asked him, I said, "Dude, what's going on? Why you look like that?" But he was telling me, about how she was putting him through all these changes and how stressful it was. And how she always, when he would think he was gonna leave, she would threaten to hurt herself or the kids. So he was afraid to leave her. Now, the reason I'm telling you that story is because you're showing dangerous signs of going in the direction that he did, which is you're worried about her mental break. That's not your concern. Your concern at 19 years of age is yourself. Now, what I suggest you do, I mean, I know 19-year-olds don't like to get their parents involved in their business, but this could possibly be a dangerous situation that might involve your whole family. Because if she flips out and starts coming to your house doing violent things, they need to know, they need to be prepared for it. They need to have information on how to reach her parents. They need to have, the police on alert. They need to have some stuff in place to protect you and themselves as well. So don't take this lightly. Same with the guys. When you have people with this kind of mentality, like they want to just glob onto you and own you, like absorb you, you have to keep them at a distance. So what you have to start doing now is, first sit down with your parents and tell them what's going on, what your plans are, and then what I want you to do is start telling her, look, we've only been dating for 2 months. We're not going to move in together. We're not going to do all that. We're only 19 years old. I'm still in school. I don't even have a way to support myself yet. You just doing what you're thinking far too far in advance for our age and our level of maturity and our wallets. You have to put it in some tangible terms that she can understand. Y'all don't have no money, okay? They cost money to do all these things that she's talking about. So, start there. And then you want to, like, if she texts you all the time, don't respond to her. Like, you respond to every other text and then every third text. And then, you start distancing yourself from her. It's going to be the slow ghost, but you have to put some space between you and her, and then at that point, then you'll have to break up with her because it's just this is never going to work. This is not sustainable. And that's what you're going to have to tell her. Your level of involvement for 2 months is not sustainable. I can't do this. You're going way too fast for what I'm comfortable with. And so I need to back up and back away from you. But like I said, you tell everybody. Don't be trying to keep this a secret. This is the kind of stuff that, bad things happen. And I hate to sound so doom and gloom, but it's all over the internet. Every city newspaper has stories like these, magazines and, crime shows. I mean, these kind of people who are not wrapped too tight and showing all the signs already, you already say she's mentally unstable, are dangerous. So you take this very seriously and do what I said. Your parents are there and they need to be in a position to know exactly what's going on so they can protect the whole family. Okay, it's not just about you. Exactly, Leanne. Just say on the next episode of Snap. I'm for real. Okay, you young and you don't get it, but I'm telling you, see, we old, we seen this stuff numerous times. So please listen. Okay. Question number two. This is a female in a 35 to 41 age group. She's European of mixed racial heritage from Preston, somewhere in the UK. The male in question is 42 to 49. Summary of issue. My boyfriend says he's incapable of having my back. I've been dating a guy for a few months. He's 43, I'm 35. We're still in the early stages. He did ask me to be official a few weeks ago, but I said I needed more time. Things are generally great. He often tells me how he values our emotional connection and that he's not had in previous relationships and the similar values that we share, such as the importance of family. He loves how open I am with telling him how I feel, something he says his ex-wife often left him in the dark about, which contributed to their split at the end of last year. Last year, so we're only in July. All right. We treat each other well and have a great time together. However, something that's come up now and then is how he doesn't have my back. Someone he met through me, more of an acquaintance of his than a friend, has been quite disrespectful to me after asking me out himself and getting gently refused. I've told my boyfriend about this, but he was real nonchalant, trying to be objective and make excuses for the other guy's behavior. Behavior, how they spell it. Huh. Friends who have heard and seen this person's treatment of me have shown more passion and sense of injustice than my boyfriend. The other day, my boyfriend witnessed it again on a group chat, but did nothing. I asked him behind the scenes if he could please come on and say something as my partner. He subsequently did to some degree, but then complained about how he felt I was treating him like a puppet. All I asked was for him to come on and support me since this guy was trying to say something about me that wasn't true, and my boyfriend knew it. But his rationale for not coming on was that he thought I was, quote, doing fine and responding to the guy myself. He often uses the excuse that I'm a strong and independent woman whom he's not imagined he would need his help. In my view, a partnership should be us against the world, not one person leaving the other to their own devices while they just stand by and watch. I should also say that my boyfriend is a big advocate for feminism, but I feel he doesn't know where to draw a line with this and be a man for a woman in a relationship. My boyfriend does promise that he'll try to be better, but it happens again and again, and this is the prime source of arguments between us. It culminated in a recent conversation on the phone where my boyfriend admitted that he is, quote, incapable of having my back. This is not something that he's ever said before. I challenged him on this and said how I always have his back, to which he said, yes, I have always had his back and he knows that, but he is just incapable of having mine, end quote. My boyfriend has a new coping strategy where after any argument, he disappears for days, ignores any attempts for me to communicate, and I'm left in the dark about when or if he's coming back. I've often told him how this disappearance makes me feel, and he promises to do it differently, but of course it happens again. These disappearances feel like he's checking out of the relationship. I'm wondering what to do and would love some advice. Thank you. Once he told you that, okay, once a man who you share your body with and your heart is supposed to be your man tells you that he can't have your back, that was the second you were supposed to say, thank you for letting me know there's no need for you to call me ever again. That's what you were supposed to do. Instead, you want to argue with him about it. You trying to change his mind. You want him to come over to your side of the fence and do things the way that you want him to do. The motherfucker already told you and showed you that he doesn't give a shit about you. Okay, he's with the bros before hoes mentality. He gonna side and defend this other guy's behavior towards you instead of checking him. Say a man who cares about him would you wouldn't have had to tell him to say something because he would have shut it down without you saying a word. But that's not what you had, and that of course you obviously don't have that kind of experience to know that that's how a man who loves you and cares about you and wants to protect you and keep you safe from harm would treat you. So instead, you want to argue with him about it and negotiate and compromise and beg and whine and plead and complain to your friends and go through all these changes instead of just getting rid of this man that doesn't really care about you. Okay. Now, I don't know how much clearer it can be than when a man tells you he's incapable of having your back. Okay, you guys in the chat, what does that mean to you? If some man said that to you, please type in there what would that translate to in your world? Because I think maybe it's just me. I mean, maybe I'm the only one that would feel that way. I don't know, but somebody told me that or even just showed me that. You guys know my friend Ken? He he be having my back all the time, and we're just friends. And I don't mean to mean Jess. I mean we've been friends for like I don't know how old's my daughter, like 25, 28 years, something like that. So I'm just, and I never know, we never, well, I guess he did hold hands one time when I was drunk. And he was guiding me to the car and he didn't want me to fall down. He was holding my hand, but it wasn't like a romantic hold. It was like, I'm going to keep your ass from crashing and getting a concussion hand hold. Okay, so Ash would take it to mean that he has no value for the relationship. Okay, that's how I would feel. And then he gonna start with the disappearing act too. While he disappeared, I would block his ass. He would never be able to contact me again. Not in this lifetime. Not in this lifetime. Maybe the next, but possibly never that one. Not that one either. Okay, girl. Okay, so I guess other people will type their response when they get around to it. But please check the chat and then think about what I'm saying. And think about relationships that you've seen where the men do have the women's back. And is that if that's not what you have and that's what you need, then you already know the answer what you need to do here. Question number 3. We got 24 questions today, and we will be back tomorrow for more. Young man, 22 to 27. He's Black from Memphis, Tennessee. Summary of issue. How often should you have formal dates? She and I had a great first quote date. It took her a few days for her to tell me that she considered it a date. What you didn't know? Okay, this is not starting off well. We both had a good time grabbing lunch and shopping. We both bought sunglasses. It also gave us time together to see each other in a different way. We were comfortable enough to compare how different our hands felt to one another. I don't know what that means. I guess they held their hands up. I don't know what that means. I think she prefers to date slowly. Told me after calling our outing a date, I shouldn't expect going out too often, even though she would like to every week. Even so, she seems more okay with me being around her at the university, going off campus a few times a week with me, etc. The only time she changed her mind is when her sister's flight got pushed up and she was dropping her off. She now will let me pay for things without fussing about it. 2 weeks later, and I think everything's moving forward for us. She even helped me decide on a birthday gift for my mom. Next week, we have some time off from school if she finishes her projects early. So I was going to ask if she wanted to go out later in the week. Today is Sunday. How long should you wait for a quote second date? And what would you make of her new confidence around me? I wonder why you haven't asked. I mean, if it's been 2 weeks and she flatly already told you that she would like to go out every week, I mean, how much are you dumb? She already told you her anticipated schedule to see you on a date is once a week. Now, you put that right in the letter. Did you not understand what you typed? Dude, for real? Mhm. I'm confused. I'm wondering what's wrong with you. See, sometimes when people write like this, you think, they might have some kind of like something going on, so they don't understand what people say to them and stuff. I just don't understand why you even wrote this. She already told you the answer. All you have to do is follow that script. But instead, you waited 2 weeks and wasting time writing me. Boy, if you don't go over there and ask that girl out on a date for the weekend, you better get out of here. Question number 4. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group. She's Caucasian from Coventry, West Midlands in the UK. The guy is the 28 to 34 age group and he's white as well. Summary of issue. My boyfriend keeps texting his ex. Wow. I've been dating this guy for about 8 months, and he's been super sweet, super nice, supportive, and loving with me. We have different nationalities, and he is 2 years younger than me. 2 years younger than me. I don't know if this information will be useful or not, but now you know. Everything was nice and well until one day he called me super drunk, even though I asked him not to drink too much because he really can't handle alcohol, and I had to take him home while I was out with my friend. All this was quite miserable and humiliating since he didn't do the only thing I asked him not to do, and I literally had to carry him home late at night. While doing this, I had to call his flatmate to check if someone was home, and he gave him his phone. I found out he was texting other girls who were clearly interested in him. I got angry, and when I asked why he was doing this, he said, still drunk, that it was because, quote, they like me. We spent a lot of time quarreling about this. Later that week, where he said he was sorry about causing this mess and that he stopped texting those girls. However, my trust in him has been damaged. Because of this, one day I took his phone to check if it was true. I feel ashamed even writing this because I do not think it's a nice thing to do, but my thoughts and my fears were stronger than my self control. I found out that his ex girlfriend, who had been with for 11 years, was still contacting him. She cheated on him. They had a very toxic relationship, according to him. And when we started dating, he told me that sometimes she used to write to him saying that she missed him, but he told her that now he was dating someone else. He said they stopped talking, but I saw the conversations. She used to text him trying to bring up the past and the old photos and videos, and he would laugh, saying, yeah, we were like that. But whenever she crossed the line saying something more, he would say that now he has found someone that he truly loved, which was supposed to be me. But if this is true, why does he keep answering those messages? And why did he lie to me? I saw that sometimes he used to send her memes or pictures about things that reminded him of her. Yet, while spending time with me, he has always been caring, loving, and helped me with a lot of things. When I tried to bring up the conversation, he lied again, saying that they were not texting anymore. And he also got mad, saying that I don't trust him. He doesn't know I checked his phone. I really do love him, but I already told him that to me this is not acceptable. Someone who keeps going back to the past is not ready for the future. Last time we brought this up, we had a really bad discussion. He said, am I not doing enough for you? I don't know why they keep being in touch, but I know that if she could, she would date him again, though he clearly said he doesn't want it. I'm very confused and depressed about all this going on. What should I do? Should I tell him what I did? What I know? If you're ready to I know, Leandra, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna tell you how this would go for me, because that's the perspective that I usually respond to these questions from. A man lies to your face about his contact with other women, and he's supposed to be committed to you. But see, this is why I keep telling you, that boyfriend shit, that don't mean nothing. It means absolutely nothing. I keep saying that, but it's like I'm shouting in the wind and the wind's going the other direction from y'all's ears because nobody seems to, there's so much stock put into, but I'm his girlfriend and, this and that. It's like junior wife or something. And it's not. I'm going to repeat this one more time. You know, what the girlfriend is? It means the person that you're screwing. This is US culture. Admittedly, I'm in the United States. I don't know how it is in other countries, but from the letters I get, it seems to be pretty much the same. At least, like in the UK anyway, Canada, pretty much the same. I don't know about, like Asian countries and Latino, other cultures like that. They might be somewhat different. But in these cultures, dating that's all it is. You screwing one person at a time. Yeah, that's what I say, Ash, 'cause think about all these letters that been coming. You was the one that had to tell me how to pronounce that shit, I forgot all that Mississauga name because, we get a lot of letters from Canada, and it's like the same drama that they have here in the United States. So I can say that with confidence. It just seems to be pretty much the same. Yeah, boyfriend equal imaginary friend. I think it's like imaginary husband because the stock they be trying to put on it for loyalty and commitment and stuff is like one would have the expectations one would have of a husband, but they're just, this quote boyfriend. So what I want to tell you, young lady, is, no matter how much you care about him, no matter how much fun he is in other ways, no matter how, the man lies to you, and he lies to you repeatedly, and he lies to your face. You know the facts. And so you gave him the opportunity to come up and tell you the truth. And instead he doubled down. Well, you don't trust me. And that's when I'm sorry, because I can't hold water. I would have had to say, yeah, with good reason, because you know what? I checked your phone and I saw the chat, you lying fucker. So this shit here is over. I don't want to see your lying funky face ever again. Get out of here. Go text all them hoes that you think is so great, grand, and wonderful. You want to be with somebody else? Go do that. Just get the fuck out of my face. Don't ever come back here. Don't look for me. Don't call me. Don't text me. Forget you ever knew me. That's how that would go if it were me. Because I can see, when they start lying like that and being deceptive about, their contacts with other women, then that sets the tone for the relationship. If you continue to stay with them after you know for a fact that he's lying to you, it's not a doubt or a question or you don't it's a suspicion or it's not that with you. You have actual facts. So it's like, do you want a boyfriend that you can't trust and that lies to you? Because if you stay with him, that's what you would be accepting. So, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I mean, you have to do what's comfortable for you. But I'm just asking these questions because these are the things that you need to think about. If you stay with a man that you know for a fact is lying to your face repeatedly, then basically you're teaching him that, you're letting him know that it's okay to lie to you because he knows that he's lying and he just, just running this game and just lie to you with a straight face. I wouldn't be able to tolerate that. How are you supposed to trust somebody like that? And he's dipping and dabbing like on, to your knowledge is all via text, but you have no knowledge of if he's meeting up with these women at other times and places and doing other things because he's a liar. So you think about that. Okay. Question number 5. This is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group. He's Latino from Tempe, Arizona. Summary issue. She slept with someone else, but she was dating me. I've been seeing my girlfriend for about 10 months. At the beginning, I took her out on 2 dates and then she went off the radar for a couple of weeks. She stopped texting me or responding to my texts, and then she came back out of the blue. We went out on a third date and then progressed to our current relationship. I just found out that after she met me, she went on a girls' night out and met someone else. She went on several dates with him and ended up sleeping with him. We weren't exclusive and had not slept together at that point. I found out by seeing a picture of her on social media with this guy. She states that it was a mistake that she wishes it hadn't happened. Our relationship is fine up until this discovery, but this has really upset me and caused me to think about whether we should continue the relationship, even though I love her. I need advice, please. Yeah, get the fuck over it. Let me tell you why. You went out with her on 2 dates. That's not a relationship. She wasn't your woman. She's single. You were single. She can go sleep with 55 million dudes if she wants to, because she's a single woman. She wasn't committed to nobody. She wasn't nobody's girlfriend. And you wasn't her man. So why you getting all in your panties in a bunch about it now 10 months later? It's kind of stupid, don't you think? The dude is ancient history. I'm sure you have some skeletons in your closet too. Secondly, back to the dating culture in the United States, what I just told you, where you are free until you get a commitment. In other countries, they tend to date one person at a time, and if they go on a date, then they stay with that. They're only seeing that one person even after just one date. That ain't how it is here. Here, you can go on 1 day, 2 day, 5 dates until you sit down and have a conversation and agree. Hey, this is like really fabulous. We should see where this really could go. And you talk about your morals and values and your goals and strengths together and all this old shit here. And then you decide that you're going to become a couple. Okay, then you cut all them other people loose. Until you have that conversation, then anything that you do with that person, you're doing of your own free will. Yeah, 2 days and two Starbucks coffees later, he mad because she slept with somebody else. And it wasn't like she was playing him. She dipped off the radar. She wasn't even talking to him. So she was on about her business. But she decided that the other dude wasn't good enough. She circled back and he welcomed her back. See, me, I don't do that. You ain't putting me on a shelf. You come back, you just gonna be like, who? But you welcomed her back, and so that you like the girl. So just shut up and like the girl. Okay? She good though, because I would have denied everything. I would have said, look, yeah, I went out with him a couple of times. It wasn't no big deal. What are you talking about? I wouldn't be talking about no. Okay, let me take a side note. Okay. I was listening to the radio the other day because I had forgot my phone. I usually like to listen to YouTube music from my phone on the car. I forgot my phone. So I'm sitting there stuck listening to the stupid radio. I'm listening to KBLX, which I haven't done in they have somebody on there called Fresca and Rudy. I don't even know who they are. So I'm listening, and then they had this segment where they called Off the Hook, where people call in and they messed up in some kind of way, and they want the radio host to reach out to the person that they messed over and ask if that person, for that person forgiveness, which is letting them off the hook. So this girl called in, and she, I thought this has to be just a prank thing. But let's roll with it and say it's not. So she says that she had messed up on this date and the guy was really nice and they really got along but then after the date he just kind of did the fade out. He wasn't really interested and she wanted to apologize. Okay, so she left out important details. So then the guy they called she thought it was because she talked about her exes, which the male host said, yeah, that's not a good idea. And I totally agree with him. So they called the dude that she went on a date with. That's when all the tea was spilled. So they were talking about the date, and she says, yeah, she was really great and everything, but on our date, she not only did she talk about the other guys, that was problem enough, but then she pulled out an ant farm out of her bag, and everybody was like, Wait, can you repeat that? What did you say?" And he said that she pulled an ant farm out of her purse, and so the radio host was like, "Okay," like because I'm sitting there, I didn't get it, I didn't get it either, and this loony bitch gonna say that those were her emotional support ants. And they were like, "Can you?" They were good because I would have been on the floor. I'm telling you, I stupid. I can't hold my laughter and be serious in a situation. I would have been like, "You's a dumb bitch." But they were very composed and professional, and I have to give them credit. And so she's like, "Those are her emotional support ants." Like, wait a minute. And so they said, so the little guy, he asked her, well, what do you mean? I mean, what did they do for you? Which was a good question. And she's like, well, just seeing them move around and, crawl around through the little tunnels and all the stuff on the little ant farm, it just relaxes me because I have anxiety. And so I'm sitting there And I'm thinking, well, so the dude on the phone, he was like, "Hell no, I'm letting her off the hook. I'm not letting her off the hook." The date was bad enough, but when she pulled out that ad form, I was done. And he's like, "I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to see her. Something's wrong with her." I could not stop laughing. I was sad to pull my car over because I was laughing too hard. And I was thinking, this poor guy, just think he's gonna be 90 and still remember that date. Yeah, I don't know, girl. With the dog shortage, you right. I don't know. I don't know. Emotional support. And then to pull him out, he said she pulled him out of the first and set him on the table. He said something about seeing his ants on a farm on the table where he's trying to eat it. That didn't work for him. He was like, no bueno. And so I just couldn't stop laughing. So anyway, I just want to share that story with you guys because I thought that was just insane. And so, people do a lot of oversharing and um they're just weird. I just don't even know what to say. So, there's a lot of reasons why we have to dump people. But anyway, that's to sum things up. There are a lot of reasons why somebody will not make the cut and will not become a partner. And whether it's because they lie all the time or because they pull ant forms out of their tote bags, either way, it's, the same thing. Okay, let's move on to question number 6. God, I'm only on number 6. This is a young man, 28 to 34, from North York, Canada. Summary issue: I don't want to live together. My partner of 9 months is pushing for us to live together, and I just don't want to. I had a messy divorce, and now I own a lovely little house with my children where we are very happy. My female partner lives in a rented accommodation with her 2 children and wants us to rent together. Why would you need to rent when you own your house? Our children get on, but I think it's too soon. And I'm unsure if I really ever want to live with a partner again. My partner's not happy about this, but I just can't bear the thought of moving my 2 children, one with additional needs, out of our safe little bubble. I'm considering walking away, but not sure that is the right thing to do. Help. Well, I mean, obviously you like this woman because that's why you wrote. And you're trying to figure out if there is a compromise. And the answer is most likely going to be no, because she wants to see, she's looking for a certain kind of lifestyle where you guys are live together, possibly moving towards marriage, the whole blended family thing and all this whole stuff here. And you're not about that life. So you guys have reached an impasse. And I'm totally on your side. The reason is you just said you just had a messy divorce. You don't say how old your children are, but it doesn't even really matter because the trauma of going through that for the kids right now, they need exactly what you're providing, a safe and secure home base, and they need the undivided attention of their parent. Now, I know as a dude, you want somebody, you want to get your little sex life in and all this whole stuff here. But, the top priority has to be the kids. You don't worry about what she's talking about. Don't worry about her kids. Don't worry about her life goals. You worry about the mental and emotional state of your 2 children because they're with you and you are the one who is responsible for them. So if I were you, I would go back to her and I would say, look, I've given it some thought and I've just, I've analyzed the impact on my children of this divorce, the impact of the divorce on me, the impact of the divorce on my finances, how we are emotionally, and the fact that I've only been having been dating you for a year. And I'm going to tell you what you're asking me to do is not going to happen. You have to be very firm with her. I mean, put in that strong line in the sand thing. That's not going to happen. I'm going to stay where I am and you can do whatever you want to do, but you're not moving in with me. We're not going to live together. Okay, we can continue to date if you're okay with that. If that's not what you want, then we can break up. Either way, I'm good because I want you to be happy. That's how you're going to put it. So you lob that grenade right back at her and say, whatever you want me to do to be happy, but that's the one thing I can't do. I never plan to get married again, and I'm not going to live with anyone either. And so, you make the decision, just let me know what you decide, and then you let her decide. But you also tell her, and if you decide that we should stay together, I don't want to ever have this conversation again. So if that's something that you don't think you can do, then there's only one answer here to this, one resolution to this problem. What's up, Shay Bay? That's what you have to do, dude. I know you probably don't want to do it because you think, dang it, I won't be having any booty. This is going to put me in a dry spell. What am I going to do? But you'll get through it. No, you'll get through it. I'm gonna be here today and tomorrow, Shay. Hopefully, I can survive. I was so tired yesterday. Woof, I don't know what happened. I was exhausted. So yeah, dude. There's question number 7. This is a female 50 to 56 age group. She's from London. So her issue: What would you? No, would you or should I ask this question? I'm in my mid 50s and I met a man on an online dating site who's about the same age. We had a really great first date and he invited me on a second during the first date. Okay, he's old school. They don't be wasting time. I met him for lunch today and a walk for around 4-ish hours. He kept alluding to next time during the lunch and during the walk. Then as we get to the tube, we hug, etc. And he just says, see you soon. And I mentioned I'm going on holiday in a few days, but he doesn't suggest fixing a date. I said, okay, well, did you tell him how long he was going to be gone, when you was going to be back? I mean, or did you just say a few days? That would leave him not knowing to be able to suggest another date, don't you think? Unless you provide that information you didn't put in the letter. I sent a message thanking him for the lunch. He sends one back saying thanks for coming to the lunch and the walk and says, have a nice evening. He had mentioned on the walk sending me the name of some podcast when he reached home, but he didn't. I feel a bit blown off and I can't quite put my finger on what sort of changed in a few minutes. Would you ask or should I ask that you put dot 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 and this is italic, so I guess this is the message she wants to send. I don't want to have any regrets, so I'm going to be bold and say I really like you and felt that we clicked. Wait, after one date? But I sort of read a thanks but no thanks into our farewell. I hope that I'm wrong because I would like to see if we can have the lovely relationship that we are both looking for. Wow. Uh-huh. Lady, you're not going to send that. Or alternatively, should I just say, would you like to come to dinner and discuss the podcast that you mentioned? You're not going to say that either. If those messages aren't good, what should I do? What you should do is send him a message and you're going to say two things. One, you're going to say, oh, did you forget to send me the podcast? Because I thought it would be something good for me to listen to while I'm on my holiday. And then you say, I'll be back on X day and would love to see you when I return. That's what you're going to say. Because I'm not see, you said I'm going to be gone, but I'm not hearing where you told him for how long? A month? Of 2 weeks? 2 days? A year? I mean, you didn't give him any information. So for that, I mean, if he was feeling really positive about you, he's going to rein his feelings in because you're going to be gone. I mean, why would he be getting all gung ho about seeing you again and you're not even going to be around, lady? Did you think this through? And all these feelings you trying to express here, that is totally inappropriate. You're trying to treat him like y'all is a couple. He went on you on one date. Can you slow down? Don't do this. It's that old fashioned thing where they say you scare them away. It sounds like desperate and crazy or something. If I was a dude and some woman sent me a message like that, I would block her. I'd block her because like, okay, this chick is just doing the most. I can't do this. So I'm suggesting that you do what I said. You're going to ask him about the podcast and associate it with your holiday. Yeah. And then you're going to say, and let him know, oh, by the way, I'll be back on such and such a day, and I look forward to seeing you then. Okay, so you let him know when you're gonna be back. Now, when you get back, if he reaches out to you, then y'all can pick up where you left off. If you never hear from him again, then you know it's over. Okay, but you don't you don't tell men this kind of stuff. You don't do this ever. After a first, even after the 10th date, you don't do this. If unless he has expressed that he's got these kind of emotions for you, don't ever do this kind of stuff. It's just totally inappropriate and it's not what you should be doing. That's all. I can't really go into a whole bunch of details, but don't do it. Okay. He's a 50-something-year-old dude. These dudes are kind of old school and they kind of a little bit more traditional. And he's not gonna take light, this is not gonna go over well. Okay. If he's that kind of gentlemanly type of dude, they don't like women chasing after him and taking the lead and stuff like that. Remember who you dealing with. Okay. You got to play, you got to play, read the room. That's what I want to say. Read the room. And the room of a 50-something-year-old man is not the same room as a kid in college or in his 20s. It's not the same. They have different mentality. Oh, Lord. Question number 8. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Calgary, Canada. Summary of issue. Is there any hope of saving this friendship? I reconnected with an old friend after years of not talking. Well, that was a mistake. We were super close as teens, but our friendship back then was immature and sometimes messy, like a lot of friendships are at that age. We've reconnected more than once over the years, and most recently, it felt like we had both grown and were in a better place. We were talking again, sending memes, and having normal conversations. I wonder for how long. Then, out of nowhere, she brought up things from our teen years, mistakes I made, things we both did, by the way, and basically pinned everything on me. I acknowledged that I wasn't a good friend back then, and I owned up to the fact that I participated in some mean, immature stuff. But she completely acted like she was innocent and like I was the only one who needed to be held accountable. It feels like she's rewriting history and I'm the villain. I'm confused because if she really felt this way all along, why reconnect with me as an adult and act like everything was fine? I'll tell you why in a minute. I'm open to growth and hard conversations, but I don't want to stay in a friendship where I'm being punished for who I was as a teenager, especially when she was involved in the same crappy stuff. Is there any hope for this friendship or should I let it go? I really care about her. I'm just blindsided. She don't give a shit about you, and you need to understand that. See, people like this, and this is why I tell girls when you break up with a dude, don't ever go back. Because if you broke up with him, he's gonna be mad and he's gonna be looking for revenge. And anything that you did, he's gonna be looking for the big payback moment. So all of you who run back to a dude after you dumped him, it's stupid. Just stupid. And then when you get dogged out, he leaves you then the second time he leaves you because now he's gotten his revenge and he feels good about it. So that's why you never go back to exes, never go back. Then it's the same mistake you made. You guys fell out and then you want to go and try to reconnect. You don't do that. Once people, when you have a bad split up, it's some bullshit went down, something funky happened, then you stay focused on that because whatever that was, that resentment, that confusion in that person, that anger, whatever it was that that person was feeling about you to break it off with you or cause whatever problem that caused the relationship to end, it's still there. Okay, because you didn't resolve it. You just stopped talking. Don't keep this. Listen to what I'm saying here. The problem, the anger that they feel and the rage and resentment is still there. So it doesn't matter how many years. Most people can't let stuff go like that. So you're gonna be there sitting there all brand new, thinking, "Oh, this is my friend. We're reconnecting," and then they get you in there. It's like a slow, if you ever been fishing, how you reel a fish in, you gotta do it slow. So that's why they break off the hook. You reel them in slow, and then when you was in the net, she hit you with all this ancient history and blame shifting and shit. I said you being blindsided and not really have no game, didn't know how to handle her. When she started talking all that shit, you're supposed to say, "Well, bitch, your ass was right there doing it too, so shut the fuck up." That's what you're supposed to say to her and shut her shit down. It's like, don't be trying to tell me nothing when you was doing the same shit. So everything that you about to say to me, you need to go in the mirror and say it to that bitch staring back at you. Let me get my ass off this phone. And then you hang up. And then you block her. See, you could have had the last word. I always insist on having the last word. But that's how that would have went. If it were me, but see, yeah, I want you to understand, young people, their parents don't really talk to them about this kind of stuff, about how, they get set up for this kind of retribution, thinking, being all naive and brand new, thinking that everybody want to be their friend. These people ain't trying to be your friend. They're trying to look for a way to fuck over you because that's what they're mad because you did something that they feel, is a personal attack or hurt them or something like that, and they deceive and build a resentment and build a shrine to that resentment, and they can't wait to get you back. So don't ever put yourself in a position where you're vulnerable to someone like that. Okay? If they in your past, let them stay the fuck there. Don't go back. Don't reach back. Don't try to be friends with them. Don't go to their house. Don't let them come to yours. You ain't going to no party with them. You definitely ain't going to no club or restaurant with them because they want to put something in your drink and set you up for something. For women, it's always the SA. So, be careful with this kind of stuff. Stop being so brand new and friendly to every goddamn body. You trust too much. But when somebody is your relationship is severed, leave it severed. Okay, you can't go back. It's over. It's blown up. Oof, poor thing. Question number 9. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's Asian from Bristol, England. Summary of issue: male colleagues and my jealous husband. I work with people and have to be service minded. I'm married. I made the mistake in the past of asking my husband for advice on how to deal with flirtatious customers. He has a jealous streak, which I feel goes away, and it can be long periods of time or short periods. Something will trigger it that has nothing to do with me, and then it makes me sad. I'm now in a situation that have been for quite some time, but I feel it has escalated where one male colleague of mine, he's not single, is joking too much but in a flirtatious way with me, and the way he is, everyone hears him doing it. I don't like attention like that. I'm always nice and polite to everyone, and I'm stunned when he's like that. I don't know how to respond. That's why he's doing it because you don't say nothing. See, you girls that just sit there and say, I don't know what to do or I'm scared to do anything, you're like got a target on your head. When they know that you're too scared to stand up for yourself, or shoot something back at them, or say something, call them out, and stuff like that, they of course escalate because they get emboldened. They think either you're too stupid to know what they're doing, or you're scared. And either way, it makes for a problem. But I'm gonna tell you some stuff to do in a minute. I never flirted with customers or male colleagues while in this relationship and marriage. Before, when I was single, I would not flirt because I wanted my workplace to be strictly professional. My female colleagues have been telling me from time to time about someone they think is into me like that romantically. They state it always as if it's a fact. I don't know what to say. I find it see and more. You just sit there, let yourself be bullied. To me, I look like everyone else. I have issues even with parts of my body. I'm not that good looking. I don't turn heads. I don't understand why this keeps happening. It's not every guy so far from it, but but it is happening. I don't know how to deal with guys that are like this. What do I do, please? I've been told in order to make my husband feel less jealous and insecure to be honest about everything, but I'm unsure if I should be about this. He would show up at my work or be waiting outside of work. If I say something about this, I'm afraid he will get back to being jealous and he will do such things. I love him and he loves me. Besides the jealousy, we have a good life. What should I do? You're gonna have to learn to open your goddamn mouth. That's what you have to do. And stop running scared. Okay, let me see that. This guy is it's everybody can hear it. What you need to say, and you need to practice this. So the words that come out of your mouth, and you just say it in a firm tone of voice. I want you to stop doing that. It's completely unprofessional and disrespectful to both me and my husband. And your wife. Stop it. Remember, we're at work and you need to act accordingly. Okay, and you say that in a loud and firm voice so everybody who heard what he said will hear what you said. Now, this is what he's going to do. He's gonna be embarrassed. I want you to be prepared because this typical response. He's gonna be embarrassed, so he's gonna try to flip it around like it's something that you did wrong. Well, you're just so sensitive. I was just joking, and then you say, "I don't appreciate your jokes," and you're not a comedian. No one is laughing. Like I said, be professional with me and all the other women on the job. If you can't do that, maybe we should have your wife come in here so she can observe some of your behavior and maybe she can help you be more professional. Because his wife will box his head open. And so, that was what you would say if he says that. The other thing is they say, okay, okay, I got you. You just so, and they try to act like, you have this, they throwing up their hands and backing away from you and just going being all fucking dramatic and shit. Then in a situation like that, I say, I really don't care about your drama activities right now. But you just do what I told you and respect me on this job. I'm not having this behavior anymore. So either way, you don't let them get away with it and you shut it down. Now, the reason why this has to come from you is inappropriate that your husband comes to your job because then your husband might end up in jail. It'll be this whole thing, and he'll have a record, and it just be like a nightmare to get out of it. So you don't want that. Okay, you got to protect your husband, and this is not his battle. It's not unless this man put his hands on you, then your husband should get involved. But it's just right. So now it's just words, it's innuendo, and you as an adult woman should be able to put this fool in check. You'll have no business being on the job with these fools if you cannot open your mouth. Other than that, you get a stay-at-home job, some shit where you don't ever have to deal with people. PowerPoint presentation. Oh, she got to do something. But this happens too often. It just really bothers me that so many women, you know, seem to be afraid to speak up and protect themselves. I don't know. I don't have that gene. Yeah, I didn't get that gene. So that's what I'm going to tell you. That's the only way that you can get this to stop. You have to show some strength. Okay. Running scared like this, he just feels, like he just bully you every day. And that's what bullies do. All right. And them bitches trying to instigate some shit. That's why you have to say it in front of everybody and say it's disrespectful to your wife, me, and my husband. Okay. So they can understand, you not about dealing with him like that. But so far, you're just being quiet. So it leads them to, create all these fables and gossip around the office. And if that's going to reach the wrong ears and you haven't shut it down, girl, come on now. You have to do something about this. Question number 10. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Richmond, Virginia. Third issue. I'm thinking about cutting my family off. In my immediate family, there's my dad, my sister, my nephew, and myself. I'm 33, my sister's 44. My dad is 70, and my nephew is 25. Over the last several years, I've grown tired and angry at my sister and nephew's lifestyle. My sister is drama oriented and alcoholic, a general emotional mess, and I've tried supporting him for years, but to no avail. My nephew has done time in prison. Whoa! And recently came out and reverted to a similar lifestyle that he occupied before prison. Both of them take and lie and cheat to get support/money. My issues are more so with my sister, but my nephew is a byproduct in this. My sister and nephew have taken thousands of dollars over the years off my dad for various reasons, where he's bailed them out of rent issues, shopping, drug dealer threats, and all manner of things. And I am the sounding board for my dad which I'm sick of, but he won't stop complaining to me, let alone do anything to change. My sister isn't changing either, and I really can't stand to be with her or near her as there's so much drama and self-pity, but no attempt to improve. Obviously, there's a lot more to the dynamic and family strain, and I have done my bit mentally, financially, and physically to try to help, but it always feels very one sided. For a while now, I've contemplated ending our family relationship and walking away, but do think sometimes that I'm being too judgmental and unfair. But in the same breath, I think I deserve to not have the impact of these family members on my life anymore and the stress and guilt I'm made to feel. From reading this snapshot of my family dynamics, do you have any advice, guidance, direction? Thanks in advance. Um, I don't know how, you feel like your father's mental capacity is. Like, does he need to have uh, a signatory kind of situation for his money? Like his social security would come into an account, with your name on it, and then you would pay his bills and stuff for him and give him some small little cash allowance so that then he wouldn't be able to give them thousands of dollars. So, he wouldn't have access to it. A lot of people have to do that. Even some county governments set those kind of things up because old people tend to get victimized a lot. And the people who always victimize them are their family. It's mostly family and caretakers are the number one and number two group of people that victimize seniors. So, thousands of dollars, I mean, it could be like felony level stuff if they're just taking it from him. But, the older he gets and the more helpless he becomes, they'll just just straight taking his stuff, not asking him crap and not even making up excuses for it. So, you got to give that some thought. How much guilt are you going to feel, or if there's anything that you could help put in place now while he's still, got his mental faculties and y'all can visit an attorney and make that happen. But as far as the sister and the nephew goes, I'm 155% in your corner on cutting all ties with that. But you got to do something to protect your daddy. You can't just leave him to the wolves like that. I mean, if he wants it, you can offer. He might say he doesn't want you to, in which case you can wash your hands of all three of them and go on with your life. But you should make that offer for him because he's an older dude now. He might need that help, and maybe that's what he's doing. His complaining is a silent cry for help. I don't really know, but I'm gonna just suggest, since you seem to have some confusing emotions about it, that you do that first, okay? So then when you make whatever move you decide to make, your conscience will be clear, and you won't be able to go. You won't go through life, the rest of your life, being angry at yourself or feeling bad if something happens to him, because you would have gave him the opportunity and he would have said no. See, that's the difference. Question number 11. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's African. Well, she's black from UK. Some have issue. I am generally not sure if I'm tweaking. What? I used to date a guy about a year ago, and this man was toxic to a T. Stalking, he threatened me, there was emotional abuse, everything that was bad. He doesn't live in my country, but he came a few times when we were still okay, but I never invited him to my actual home. We always went to Airbnbs because even when things were okay, I didn't want him to have my home address. And when everything started going downhill, he genuinely stalked my address with all the info he found out about me, flew from his country to mine, and came to my house. Wow. Wow. That was dead ass one of the scariest times of my life, and I genuinely moved on after that. I mean, moved after that. I changed my phone number and I did everything so he wouldn't come again. But apparently, someone I consider a quote friend has, for one, been talking to him, and number two, gave that man my phone number knowing damn well everything he did to me last time. I am so unbelievably mad. I thought I finally found peace and I've been healing over everything, only to have to go right back to feeling completely unsafe again. But my friend is acting like I'm crazy because it's been a year and he's probably changed. And he's probably changed, end quote. I want to know if my being angry is valid. Girl, angry. Man, me and Roscoe would have had to go pull up at dude's house and have a little tap dance party. So first of all, you understand this person that you thought was your friend is not your friend. This is the bros before hoes mentality that I mentioned a little bit earlier. He's more making excuses for this man's behavior and everything. And I'm not really, I'd be suspicious when I have see guys do this kind of stuff that they're trying to set you up. They're working in a team in a cahoots kind of situation. And, women who think dudes are their friends, they trust them. I mean, that's why that phrase date R came up because you think the guy is your friend, you trust him, you've been vulnerable positions about, around him. And then the next thing you know, you got an essay on your hands. I'm suspicious that they're trying to set you up. I would not be this friend here. I mean, I want you to move if you got the resources, move again, change your number, get off social media. Don't post nothing online so there won't be anything for anybody to track. Okay. And if you just have to have one, you do it under a false name with a fake city and everything else. Okay. Don't go on no dating apps because they can find you like that too. You don't need to do any of that. If you want to date somebody, go to a coffee shop or a little coffee bar, poem reading or something, and meet a dude in real life. Stay off the internet. That's the easiest way for people to find you these days. You leave that electronic trail. Stay off the web after you move, because my thing is this: if you guys broke up, that was how long ago? Hold on a second. A year ago. Okay, so this is a year later, and this guy's still trying to find you. Doesn't that cause you some concern? He hasn't let go yet. You need to move and you need to move quickly. And I would, if you have a job that you could transfer to, tell them what's happening. I would need to move to another country, whatever, and then get the fuck up out of there. Change your number again and then forget this person that you think is a friend, forget that person. You need to get you one. I don't know what they have in the UK here. They have Google phone numbers, the VoIP line. That would be the number that you would give out to people. And you can set it up because I have mine set up. It rings on my phone. For the calls can be forwarded, and then I can make calls from my phone using that number. So those people won't ever have my real cell phone number. They won't ever have any way to track me by where I live and all this kind of stuff. Plus, I like it's just a safer thing. Okay, you really need to pay attention to this stuff because he's been looking for you for a whole year. That's somebody who's not gonna let go easily. Question number 12. This is a female, 22 to 27. She's black from Santa Clara, California. The male is 22 to 27. He's of mixed racial heritage. Same issue. My boyfriend and I have different views on abortions. Should I break up with him? Oh, absolutely. My boyfriend's 25 and I'm 23, and we've been together just under 4 months. We got into an argument about 2 weeks ago about abortions. He only believes in a woman having one only if her life is in danger. Even if a woman is SA, he believes that she shouldn't have an abortion. I don't agree with this at all. I personally would never get an abortion. Don't never say never, but I am still pro-choice and I want every woman to have a choice. The argument was pretty bad. He just kept bringing up how it is murder. He also believes white males have it harder than minorities. Wow, he's stupid. And women, mind you, he is biracial, mixed black and white. However, he is white passing to an extent. I am black and I just cannot understand how he believes this. He voted for Trump, yet turns around and says he doesn't support Trump's policies. He brought up our abortion argument to his female coworkers, and they said to him, "She didn't break up with you?" A bunch of question marks. I feel dumb and guilty for still being with him. Our views are very different, and I can understand that, but I just don't think we are compatible. I want to break up with him, but I just don't know how to say it. Before I was in a relationship with him, I was single for about 2 years. Okay, so that's fucking irrelevant to the fact that this guy's a fool. Wow, Kiki. See, you know me, I don't do nobody, I don't do people from the continent. You can't be having no accent and be with Deb. I can't do it unless it's a Southern drawl or a New York accent, maybe. That's about as accent as I get. Once it starts going into something else, I no, I don't do it. Especially, you know, Malik Nim. I just can't do it. Can't do it. So good for you, Kiki. You know, uh, one suggestion here in the chat is that you not really say anything, just ghost him. But she said that she'd been with him for a number. Uh, she'd been with him for 4 months, so they actually have like a little relationship. But I would just tell him, look, our recent conversation about um, your position on abortions and Trump and stuff has let me know that we are not the least bit compatible long term. So let's just stop here. Let's stop here. It's been a great 4 months, but this is as far as I'm gonna go with you. And then you let him go. You don't need to make no whole long, PowerPoint list of reasons with slides and references and shit about why it's not working out. You just tell him you're just not feeling. If he gets, well, why? Why is it? Because you're stupid, and I don't want to be bothered with somebody who would vote for Trump as well as be against a woman having control of her own body, especially if her body was violated and she was pregnant against her will. Nobody gives a fuck what. See, my thing is, when men start talking about what their position on, oh, no giggles, no, because then that would make you my what they call it, stepdaughter, half daughter, stepdaughter. That would be suicide. But these kind of people, you just can't mess with them like that. The abortion thing alone would send me away from him. I would have to run. I just couldn't be bothered with him. So that alone, a man telling me that alone would just make me not want to be bothered with him. And I know that because I totally believe I'm like, some people say they're pro-choice and others say they're pro-life. Deb is pro-abortion 999%. I think a woman should be able to get one at any time, for any reason, what so fucking ever, whenever she wants one. She might like being pregnant today, wake up in the morning and decide she don't want to be pregnant no more. She should be able to get an abortion. She could be pregnant by somebody she really loved to the last week. This week, this motherfucker beat her ass. Tomorrow, she's getting an abortion. Because one thing she don't want to do is leave him and then have to be tied to him through child support and child visitation and a whole bunch of other drag and drama. That's what I think. So abortion, I'm pro-abortion, and I don't care who don't like it. Okay, I honestly feel I think more people should get them. All these women talking about, oh, I can't kill my baby. Bitch, your ass is broken, you stupid. You have no business being nobody's mother. Get real. And then the kids suffer. It's just a horrible thing. I mean, look at all these little kids in foster care. But that, was born to stupid parents. It's just It's a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. And the lives that they have to live, being shuffled from one place to another, bullied, victimized, fighting off predators and shit because they people know they don't have no backup. Why would you do that to a kid and you know you don't have the resources to raise it? Stop with this romantic shit and take your ass and jump up on somebody's abortion table and get rid of that shit. Stop all this bullshit. It drives me crazy. Because I see the kids. Once you have to deal with, because I'm working social services and you see the children, it's just tragic. It's heartbreaking. And then, you just, and now these people, I mean, they don't look at that. They just look at, oh, the little baby. Okay, well, what about when this kid is 9 or 10 and you haven't taken care of it and all these people have been just fucking over it and beating on it and stuff? You get your ass to an abortion clinic. And that's why I say any man who tells me what his opinion about abortion, I cuss him out. Because it's like, you don't have a uterus, motherfucker. You don't have anything that would warrant holding a pregnancy. You don't have a fucking opinion. It's not your decision to make. It'll be just like us talking about people getting a vasectomy. I don't have no part in that fight. That's not about me. But what is about me is what comes out of my body. I have the total choice to make that decision, and only I have the choice to make that decision. It's because it's me. I'm telling you, I can't even tell you how many women they tell they didn't have the money for the abortion. I wrote that check. I sure did because I did not want them to suffer. They want to get away from some abusive fucker. I would go right then. How much is it? I'm pro-abortion. I'm telling you. Let's move on. Question number 13. This is a female, 35 to 41. She's black from Washington, D.C. Female, 50 to 56. She's white. So her issue, I hate my cousin's wife. Hi, Deb. Thanks for taking my letter. Let me make this as brief as possible. Thank you. But it don't look that brief, though, girlfriend. I have an older male cousin who's quite successful and well off, and he's married to a wife who works for a hedge fund. Her personality matches one who does that kind of work. She's pretty much an asshole. The family hadn't seen this cousin and his family for years because they separated themselves. But when their son committed S in 2020, we all reconnected as in support. Well, since then, periodically through the year, I spent time with him and his wife to get to know them better and bond. I love my cousin to pieces. He's been very supportive and encouraging of me as I try to be to him as well. But his wife, 2 years ago during their 4th of July party, she randomly asked me how my father, who had been diagnosed with cancer, was doing. Being positive, I explained he was stable and pushing through. While in the kitchen talking about it, this bitch had the nerve to look me in my face and say to me, well, I keep hearing people say he could survive this and blah, blah. But listen, your father is going to die. It could be in 2 months, okay? And it will be the hardest thing you ever go through. Then she put her wine glass down and walked away. And you let her live? Girl, you just a way better person than me. Okay, I can't even, you got wings and a halo. I would have had to beat that bitch's ass. I was stunned. I literally sat at the kitchen table so confused and hurt. I wanted to curse her to the ground, but was so taken aback that she could say something so abrupt and unnecessary in a season while I was already hurting and having anxiety attacks over the health of my dad. I never mentioned the incident. Why not? You're supposed to put her ass on blast. You had a party, you'd go out to the yard and say, guess what this bitch just said to me? And tell everybody. Why did you hold this in? Okay, let's see what other mistake you made. Well, a year later, she invited me to their other house down south for another 4th of July party. This time, I flew down to spend time with my cousin. I tried to put that incident behind me. This time, she was even worse. This bitch was rude as fuck from the time I got there, making snarky comments, laughing at me like a school kid when I would talk about the type of music I liked, etc. One morning, she and a guy friend of theirs who was also staying at the house were standing at the front door as I was walking down the steps, as they had just come back from the gym. In the past year, I have gained a lot of weight because of stress. This bitch looked at me and literally scoffed out loud as if to say, ugh, as I walked downstairs towards them. She was a total jerk and like a dummy to keep the peace. I didn't check this bitch from the gate. Yes, my dear, that was not the move. Oh, Princess made it. I haven't seen you in a long time. All in all, I am pissed at myself that I never stepped up and called this bitch out to rip her ass a new one. I stupidly wanted to be calm because my cousin's wife, and I didn't want to offend or upset him, especially being so far out of town. But at the end of the day, this bitch is snooty rather, and disrespectful as fuck. And I've made myself look like a complete pushover for not having told this bitch about herself and correcting her on the spot at the time. That's right. Haven't seen or reached out much since, but I want to reach out to my cousin, and more than likely will have to see his pasty ass wife again soon. My question is this: how do I stand up to this bitch like a grown ass woman in response to her bullshit? I want to carry myself in a way that is confident, not whining. I want my energy to say, bitch, don't try me. I can't keep making myself chump out of respect for my cousin when she is so highly disrespectful. It's been over a year since, and I'm still pissed every time I think about it. I'm 36 and I feel so small for allowing someone to bitch me like I'm in grade school. How can I correct this in a way that allows me to regain my self respect with this person? Thank you for your time. Well, I'm going to think, since you have such a good relationship with your cousin, he needs to be forewarned. Okay, you're gonna pull him aside. I know. You're gonna pull him aside and you're gonna say, cousin, I've been holding on to something for over a year that has it's just been really bothering me. And you're such a nice person, such a sweet soul. I just really can't see how this person and you are compatible, but it's the one you chose. But let me just tell you what the changes that I've had with your wife. And then you tell him each one of them. And you say, okay, so the reason why I'm telling you this now is because I have decided that before I was trying to be not, be nice because I was out of respect for you. But I want to tell you those kid gloves are coming off. If she says anything out of pocket to me or even looks at me sideways, I'm going to lose my mind and I'm going to cuss her the fuck out. I want you to understand so that you're ready and you don't think it's coming out of nowhere or you don't try to stop me because this is we I need to do this. This is woman to woman and this needs to be done. You can't intervene. I don't want you to say anything. I just want you to know why it's happening. And then he's going to be shocked. He's going to say, "Oh my God, I can't believe she would do that." And he's going to make all them noises. But then again, maybe not. He might know that she's that kind of bitch and just be like, "Well, it'd be time somebody checked her." You just now to think about it, they've been married that long. He has to know that she is something wrong with her. But so do you want to know what you should do now? This is going to be difficult because we don't know what kind of stuff she's going to try to come at you with. But let's just look at these kind of things. Like I said, this thing about your father going to die and all that kind of stuff. She put her wine glass down and walked away. You were supposed to pick that glass up and throw that wine on her and say, "Bitch, I wish the one who would die is you." That's what I wish. I can't wait to go to your funeral so I can spit on your grave. I spit in your casket or something. I say, you don't have to be like me because I say the foulest, funky, stupidest stuff to people. And sometimes later I'll be like, you should have said that. But then I can't take it back. And I meant it at the time. So it is what it is. But I mean, I would have done that. She would at least been wearing some wine if I didn't crack her over the head with a bottle or something because oh, my temper is bad sometimes. Yes, tit for tat is not for kids. Tit for tat is for adults. Even in the Bible, it's called an eye for an eye. Did you forget that part? Right? And I say, if the Bible says it's okay, well, then that must mean it's okay. So let's not go with that. Tit for tat is not for children. It's for smart adults. And the thing is about when men try to come up with, try to defend stuff, they don't understand woman bullshit. And they think that women relate to each other the way the men do. Like men can have a big fight and stuff, and then later they be slapping each other with their bruised face all bruised up and stuff, slapping each other on the back and going house of beers. Women don't work like that. You do some bitch shit to us, we gonna remember that shit for a long time, and we're gonna get you for it. We're gonna find a way to make you pay. So in this case, like I said, you gotta fix it. Tell your cousin what's going on and what you're gonna do, and then I want you though to go into the main thing is to have a mindset that all the kid gloves are off. All the thing about you being polite and genteel and all this shit, leave that at home because she had no concern about your feelings and you need to have none about hers. I always push that on this channel. Match energy. So you're going to match her energy, whatever way. If she's polite to you, you be polite to her. If she comes at you like a bitch, you roll your sleeves up and you do the same. Okay. I'm just I want you to have your mind right because when your mind is in that mode of I'm gonna fucking get you, I'm gonna get you back for whatever you do or say, then it's gonna flow to you for that particular situation. I have no idea what what's gonna happen. I'm not psychic. But I just want the main thing is for you to have that mindset where you unleash your inner kraken. Okay. You unleash the kraken on her ass and don't hold back. Every kind of pasty bitch you can think of, you call her that, as well as whatever else you want to call her, insensitive hoe and all kind of other stuff, because she's all of those things. Okay. But yeah, the main thing is you got to tell your cousin what she said to you, all of it, everything that she's done. Tell him. 'Cause he's, even if he knows about other things, he doesn't know about that. And he would be shocked to see the little cousin that he's been interacting with go, flip over to the dark side. But he needs to know why you about to go there. Oh, shut up, Leandra. Yeah, I don't know, but she would have walked out that door wearing that wine, if not a glass, a whole bottle poured over her bitch head. 'Cause I love, just grab them by the hair and go pour and then push her ass out the door. She'd be sputtering. It looked like, oh my God, she poured a bottle of wine on me. It's like, you lucky that's all I poured. It wasn't lucky it wasn't something more, like some fucking bleach. Okay, now let's do question number 14. This is a female, 28 to 34, no location provided. Sir, issue. I found out that the father of my child is but how can child predator. Let's put it that way. And I'm overwhelmed. To be clear, my daughter's 5 and she hasn't seen this man in 2, almost 3 years. It's for unrelated things, but I already felt deep down that he couldn't be trusted. I'm glad I trusted my gut. He has an undocumented history of SA on women. This is the first time he's been caught, though, and it's a child under the age of 16. I feel sick to my stomach. I found out via Hey Girlie message from one of the women that he assaulted. He sent me a screenshot of his arrest record, and there are 5 felony counts of abuse to a minor. Wow. Here's where I'm overwhelmed. I live and grew up in a very small town. Everyone knows everyone. And within a week, everyone who I know will know. I could already feel the phone calls and messages coming in from people. His family never believed me and hated me for keeping his daughter away from him. I just don't know how to handle this. The important part is my daughter's safe and she will remain safe. Is this enough to get a restraining order? We live in the same city. She goes to public school in a few weeks. I need to inform her school, right? Not unless he's out on bail. I have sole physical and legal custody of her. Oh, well, that's all you need. Is this enough to have all of his rights as a parent stripped away permanently? No, you have to go to court and show his potential harm to her if he's alone with her visiting. And so, I mean, the courts can set up what they call supervised visitation, but he would have to pay for that. Chances are, because they have like police and deputies and nurses and psychologists and stuff. All of their salaries have to be paid, plus the rental of the facility. So it's a pretty pricey thing. So, I mean, I don't know what kind of money he makes. I mean, he might be able to afford it, but it's most fathers can't. So they just opt to not see the kid at all. Do I just acknowledge this publicly? Make a social media post that says I'm aware of his arrest records and I'm not ready to talk about it. Please don't message or call me about it. Or do I wait for him to get blasted on social media first? He definitely will. It's a normal thing in our community. And then comment that I'm the mother of his child and I am aware. I feel like I'm going to have a panic attack because a part of me saw this coming, but I was never able to prove it or do anything about it legally. Do you have any advice for me? I'm not comfortable with any of these things that you're doing. I want you to focus on what's going to be best for your daughter. I want you to remember this. Everything that we put on the internet is basically there forever. Because even if you think you deleted a post, somebody already shared it or did a screenshot. So you thinking that you erasing something and you deleting something, that don't ever think that. Just know that whatever you post online, it's there for eternity. All right. Now your daughter's only 5 right now. If you start posting stuff on these people's comments and sending messages and doing all this kind of stuff, that's going to be there. She'll be able to find it because it will be under your name. So this is what you're going to do. Nothing. You're gonna let other people talk about it, and you just gonna read and be like, "Well, damn, that was some fucked up shit that he did," and that's all you're gonna do. You're not gonna put nothing in writing. You're not gonna do nothing that can be saved, screenshotted, forwarded, archived, photocopied, Xerox, nothing. You're not gonna do that. As far as you're concerned, whatever he did was on him, and that's it, and that's all. Okay, your name is Bennett, and you wasn't in it, and neither was your daughter. That's how you need to play this. Yeah, the internet, I'm telling you. I kind of feel sorry for these kids who grew up with since the internet, they born since the internet. They don't know about the days when you could get away with shit and, because there was no record of it. There's no record. You could do all kind of stuff, get all kind of dirt, and nobody would know. But now everybody know everything you do. I just don't want you to do this. The other thing I want you, I'm very curious about. It's not like I'm victim blaming because I know you're probably young and dumb, but I'm trying to figure out why you chose to have a child by this guy. You said you felt like he couldn't be trusted. I mean, why did you not feel that before you got pregnant? I mean, what happened? This is like I don't understand what you was doing here. Okay, you just made a really stupid decision there. I want you to make better ones from here on out, and it starts with not putting nothing on the internet connected with this fucker. Okay, you're not nothing. You're not gonna comment, and if people call you about it, you're just gonna just not take their call. And if they want to text you about it, you're gonna block them, delete and block. That's what you're going to do. You are not gonna respond in any kind of way that leaves a trail, and that is protect your baby. That is all you should be thinking about right now. But your whole letter is pretty much about him. Switch that and flip it around and think about your child. This is crazy. Question number 15. This is a female, 18 to 21, from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Sorry, issue. I got a job 3 days ago. How do people do this for 40 years? Child, ain't that the truth? I'm 18 and I got a job. Well, actually, it's an unpaid internship 3 days ago. It's full time from 9 to 5. It's actually really not even too bad. I find it interesting and it's aligned to what I'm studying at university. I've never worked before, and this might be really out of touch, but how the hell am I supposed to do this for like 80% of my life? I get dropped off and picked up, but I still feel like I barely have any time to myself or any time after work. I have to sleep by 11:30 max, otherwise I feel groggy and I have headaches. I am so tired after, and I just want to rot in bed. She said rot, rot in bed and not do anything like practice my hobbies or exercise. I feel so depressed at the prospect of my future. The permanent staff often stays till 6. Is this what adult life is like? I feel like I never want to graduate from school now. Is it over after your early 20s? Is the rest of your life just being a shell of a person? Pretty much. Pretty much. The only thing I can tell you is get into a field where you make, you paid well, live way, way under your, live a low cost lifestyle. Okay, don't go getting the you don't think you got to have the brand newest and the greatest and the best of everything. Get what's good enough. Save your money. Invest your money wisely. If you don't know how to invest, just put it in a mutual fund. Okay. Open you up an IRA and do what you need to do. Save your money. And if you do it like that, even though you're working and it's gonna be tedious and everything, you can set yourself up so that you can retire by the time you're like 50, 55 at the most. And then, you have decades still to enjoy the rest of your life. Some people do it and they making enough money, they can retire at 40. So, I don't know what your major is and what your internship is all about. You didn't say, but if you're in a field like that where you're gonna be pulling down $200,000, $300,000, you should be able to do that pretty well. But you're gonna live a simple life. Okay. You're not gonna be jet setting all over the place, flying here and there and buying all these fancy cars and designer clothes and bags and shit like that, that people waste money on that stuff. Don't do that. Put your money into some vehicle that's going to bring you a return on your investment. drive your car till the wheels fall off before you get another one. Get a used car that's 2 years old. You don't have to get a brand new one off the showroom floor. Stuff like that. Think of ways to save money, and then you can retire early. That's the only hope I can offer you. Because otherwise, it's exactly as you say. And a lot of people that working low wage jobs, um, they be working till they like damn 85 and shit. So, you think about that. Think about how you can set things up like that. You might want to consult with a financial advisor. It's like I just started my first job, but I want to, by the time I start getting paid, I want to set things up so I can start saving for my retirement, and then follow that person's advice, and then do everything you can to suck your money away so you can get the fuck up out of the workforce as quickly as possible. Question number 16. This is a male, 18 to 21. He's black from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Summit issue. It's so hard to be healthy in an unhealthy house. How do I separate myself from it? I live with my mom, my dad, and an older sister. And to be brutally honest, we're all overweight and fat. Yeah, got them 2 tons of fun type folks. They always give up on cooking and buy fast food. So it's hard to snap out of this on our own. Our house is often dirty, so trying to cook for myself always makes me so depressed. It's hard to be motivated. Do you have any tips on how to pull myself up and just do it? It's so hard to do when I'm surrounded by all the options that go against it. Well, let's see, you're in the 18 to 21 age group, so you're not a kid. If you want, the only area that has to be clean for you to cook is the kitchen. All right. So you clean the stove and you clean the counter and you make sure the dishes that you're going to use is clean. And then you clean them, make sure they're clean before you use them, and then watch them after. Okay. Be responsible. Don't just throw them in the sink. You dirtied them, you clean them. Okay. Because you're only cooking for yourself. Now, if your family, you can tell them about what you're trying to do, because you can learn how to cook. My young brother, you can watch YouTube videos. There's lots of, they'll show you how to do it step by step. Lots of home cooks and some professional chefs. And they would take you through a recipe. You can make simple dishes, salads, soups, casseroles, and stuff like that. Now, the thing about it is, you have to run it by your family. Say, I'm thinking about, us going on a health journey. Would you guys be interested in doing it with me? It would involve us getting 30 minutes of exercise a day. We could all go for a walk together, eating more vegetables and fruits and not fast food. Cooking. It would save us money and it'll be healthier for us too. So, would you guys be really interested in doing this with me? And see what they say. And their parents will say, "Well, what would you need us to do?" You need to give them a shopping list. Say, "This is set up a menu plan. This is what I want to make for us to have for breakfast, lunch, or dinner." And then, so this is the groceries that we would need for that to happen. And you can go, well, we don't know how old he is and what his situation is yet. So, I mean, that is true. He can move out, but I'm giving him options for when he's, until he can get that in motion. Because most 18, 19-year-olds aren't ready to do that. Some are, but most really aren't. And, they just getting out of high school and they got their little job or whatever, but they can't afford these, $2,000 a month rents and stuff like that. Can't do it. So I'm trying. This is an option for if you stay there. Now, of course, if you balling or you got another place to go to move, you can do that. But you still need to learn how to cook. So, I mean, you can learn to cook there, or you can learn to cook on your own. What I'm just going to suggest that you start trying some stuff, watch some YouTube videos, or look at some recipes online at a healthy website like eatfresh.org has some. That's one I use a lot. Or eatright.org is from the National Association of Dietitians. They have all these dietitian approved recipes, and you can search by if you have a certain kind of disease process like diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, that kind of stuff. So those are two really great sources. The USDA has some websites, with recipes, and they use, and then the uh, My Plate websites teach you how to create a balanced meal. Uh, that's healthy. It's create some with some of all the food groups in it. So think about those things. Take a look at those sites and start formulating some ideas about what you want to do and how you want to do it. Okay. And all you need to start exercising is a good pair of walking shoes. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Yes, but Leandro, that's not going to help him get healthier. That's not going to help him get healthier. You know, yeah, this is difficult. I often said that when I worked as a trader, people say, well, everybody in my family, it's hereditary. It's not hereditary. It's like you grew up eating a certain way, and that's all you know. So as you start, moving into adulthood, you cook the foods that your parents cooked. You eat the way that your parents ate. And it takes, some research and some commitment on your part to change yours, away from what your family does. It's really hard. I can't tell you how much my family dogged me out when I was vegan. That did not compute. So every holiday I had to bring my own food because they just was not with it at all. It was just really challenging. So Leandra's too funny. So that's my suggestion. Question number 17. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from San Antonio, Texas. The male is 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My boyfriend won't stop waking me up, although I've repeated and asked him not to. I'm 28 and he's 25. Well, there's your first mistake. Exactly as the summary states, my boyfriend wakes me up in the middle of the night almost every night. To give context, we do not work similar hours. I get up a lot earlier than him for work and to do chores, and I also go to bed a lot earlier than him. He will stay up playing video games with his friends till 1 or 2 in the morning, sometimes later. He can get very loud, so I have to ask him to stop yelling a lot of the time. Worse still, when he does come to bed, he insists on cuddling, which wakes me up because I'm a light sleeper. He will also steal my blanket and put his cold hands on me, as well as lay his legs over mine. He will also wait till I've turned the light off and laid down to start a conversation with me. I have already brought a separate blanket and asked that he not take it, but he still does. I have also talked to him multiple times about this issue, and he would stop briefly. He goes right back to doing it. I'm at my wits' end and starting to feel resentful. I struggle with energies that suffer with anxiety and depression. I don't really ever ask him for anything other than to not wake me up. Well, being deprived of sleep will give you anxiety and depression. You don't have to have it. I mean, you get miss enough sleep, and you will have those exact symptoms. We've been together for 4 years, and this has pretty much been a consistent issue. Am I overreacting and just missing something? Is there something else I can do to fix this? Is this just my own mental health issues causing problems? No, you got a boyfriend who's an abusive little fucker. He don't care. He's highly immature. I mean, who shouts at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning? Who the hell does that? Even if you living by yourself, that's unnecessary because you got neighbors. Unless you live in a jungle or some shit, there's neighbors around, and you're gonna be waking them up because you want to play a video game. So I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to figure out why you would deal with this for 4 years. What's wrong with you? What you were supposed to do is say, look, I told you not to wake me up. So this is what we're going to do. You're going to have two choices. If you don't stop waking me up, we're going to break up because I need my rest. This is going to affect long term. This will have a great impact on your health. Trust me. This ain't the lick. You need to get your rest. And it has to be uninterrupted so you can go into REM sleep. That's where your body is going to, repair itself. The deep sleep, you got to do that. And if you constantly getting awakened every night, 1 or 2 times a night, you're not getting that kind of rest, and your body's not getting that opportunity to repair itself and recuperate. So it's going to affect your health long term. And so you thinking, oh, I have this boyfriend. I'm like, you need to get rid of this fool. This is an immature child. Kick him out or tell him that you got to break up and move. Yeah, he don't respect nothing. Yeah, I can't either. I mean, I can't even date a dude who snores, seriously. You snore and you wake me up, we're breaking up. Because I can't do it. My daddy used to snore. It was so bad we could hear it down the hall. I was like, I don't know how my mother could stand it. I couldn't stand it and I was in rooms away. Mm-mm. Yeah, Mississippi is bad enough when you have a baby, because they got to change the little diaper and feed them and all stuff. So they cry and they wake you up 3 or 4 times a night. It's freaking exhausting. But you get through it because you know that they're little and helpless, and That's what you got a grown man waking you up intentionally every time. Oh no, now you'd have to go. Question number 18. This is a female, 22 to 27 from Denver, Colorado. The male is 28 to 34. Summer issue. Do you think I overreacted when I kicked my boyfriend out after I found a hidden camera in my bedroom? Say, wait, what? Wait, what? Wow. These dudes, I just don't even understand these men these days. I'm 25 and have been with my boyfriend who's 29 for a year. We don't live together, but he stays often. Yesterday, while I was rearranging my bookshelf, I noticed a very tiny black object tucked between the books. It turned out to be a small camera. I confronted him immediately and he swore what wasn't what it looked like. He claimed it was a quote security camera because he worried about me when I'm home alone, but it was aimed directly at my bed, not my front door. I told him to get out and never come back. He's been begging me to talk, saying I overreacted and that he only did it because he loves me and wants to protect me. My friends are split. Some say he crossed a huge boundary. Others say maybe I should hear him out before ending things. Deb, did I do the right thing by going full no contact immediately? Absolutely, because you don't want her to be back in the house and plan another one. Secondly, I don't know, them friends are telling you that you need to hear him out before you end things are stupid. Okay, a man hides a camera that points at your bed rather. What is he doing that for? What's happening with those images or video that he is recording? Where is it going? Who is watching it? Is he getting got you on some freak site where people are paying to watch y'all get busy? So it's like a OF site, but you didn't even know that you was on it? Or is he doing this to sell these images and stuff on some, to private collectors? Whatever it is, there's no reason for him to do that. Every single reason that I can think of is about some pervy, egregious, illegal shit. So one thing you can do too is file a release report. I don't know if you gave him back the camera. I wish you had. I hope you did not. But you tell him to get out and then take that camera down to the police station and say the guy that I was dating hid this camera and he was taking images of me that I did not give him permission to take, and I don't know what he was doing with those things, and I'm really scared and this and that, blah blah blah. So I mean that's what I would do. Because one thing you don't want to do is have anything else to do with this clown. You don't know who's seen your pictures of you in your bed, getting busy with your man, or being walking around your room butt ass naked because you think you're in the privacy of your own home, getting dressed, putting your lotion on, and all this kind of stuff. And then, and then, the big question mark is what is he doing with this stuff? Yeah, no, I don't think you did. I think you responded entirely appropriately. Like I said, I want you to go one more level above that and go and file a police report because that's some predator shit. And his name needs to be in the database as somebody who does some stupid shit like that. You know, do that. Okay, I think you know what. I think I'm gonna stop after this next question, the 19th question, and then because I'm gonna be back tomorrow. So if I do 19 today and then 18 and 19 tomorrow, that's a lot of questions. I'm getting tired. Female, this is a female 22 to 27 from Hampton, Virginia. Summary of issue. How can I avoid endless chats and meet up with men instead? I've been having some conversations via chat with several men at the moment on different swipey things. A lawyer guy who splits time between a few countries, a guy who works in the federal government, so he's the one who says several countries, so he says, a guy who works in the federal government, a creative game developer who is divorced and not interested in marriage anytime soon, and a few other men. All kinds of guys, basically. But these men just want endless chat. The federal government guy texts me an essay format. I had to turn on my PC to answer him because he writes a huge amount of text. Oh my God. While I'm okay getting to know them, I just want to cut out the chase and meet up with them in person to see if I'm attracted or not and if they can carry on a conversation. Recently, I met up with a guy after only 2 days of chatting. We hit it off like no other guys, and I liked him a lot, only that he had several red flags I couldn't accept. But those red flags would have never showed up via text, as he was very smart. Only in person I could have found out. So, how can I avoid endless chat with these men and actually go on a date? Is it okay if I ask him out as a woman? I've never asked out a man with after only a few days of chat. Is it not wise? I don't I just don't enjoy the endless chats anymore. After a week of chatting, I asked a few men out. But guys usually ask me out. I'm not sure how I would come across to them after only a few days of chatting. Well, what you do the way to mitigate that is when you first start talking to someone, or maybe you can even put it in your profile. I don't go on them dating apps, so I'm just talking off the top of my head, okay? So don't quote me. But I would think that it would make sense to say in your first conversation with these guys is, I'm glad we made contact and there's interest there, to find out a little bit more about each other. But I want to let you know I'm not the type of woman who's going to chat with you for weeks on end. If we don't meet up after 2 or 3 days, then there's no point in this. Are you prepared to do that? And they will either say yes or no. And if they say no, then you say, well, click. And if they say yes, then you keep talking to them. But then if those 3 or 4 days pass and they don't make any motion toward meeting up in person, then they go in the click pile too. That's how you mitigate this. See, you just let them run the show. You're not putting any brakes on it, no boundaries and making no demands. You just let them do what they want to do and then you write me to complain about it. That's not how this works. You're the person that wants to meet up, so then you have to put that in place to say this is what we're gonna do. And if that's not what you want to do, then there's no reason for you to tie up my time. Yeah. Just put it. Okay, you can put it in the profile. I don't know if they, where you could do like the part where you just write something yourself, where everything's a checkbox or whatever. I've never been on these swipey things, so that's why I say don't quote me because I don't know for sure. But I was hoping that that would make sense that you could put, some little notation of some sort, and then, but if not, then definitely, um, by the time you talk to them the first time, tell them this is your expectation and ask if they want to, if they're down with that. And if they're not, then fuck them. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I have a show at 6 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow. So you guys, I'm going to see y'all 2 days in a row. How about that? And we'll do another 16 or 17 questions. We have so many, like we have a serious backlog. So I want to try to, get through some of them since I missed so many shows with all my work these days. But this was good. It's good to see everybody. I got a little rest yesterday. I think my skin looks better because I got some sleep. But we will be right here, back here tomorrow. If you have a question that you want to submit to the show, this is how you do it. We call the show What the Fuck Whenever because I keep changing the day. So it's called What the Fuck Whenever now. It used to be What the Fuck Tuesday, then it was What the Fuck Wednesday, then it was What the Fuck Friday. So anyway, this is how you do it. You log on to Debsterism.com and you click the tab that says Get Advice. And then you send in your question. Okay. Send it on in. And if there's room in the column, and Candace thinks that your question is interesting because we look for questions that, have a pretty broad interest, nothing super specific to you, that's only about you and nobody else can relate to it, your letter won't get picked. But other than that, those are the ones that we pick. And we look forward to getting your letter in. All right. So other than that, I will see y'all tomorrow. Go onto to YouTube channel or wherever and hit the reminder button so that you can set a reminder for yourself. And I will see you all tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Ta ta.